Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Been working so hard for you, I haven't even shaved. Actually, been traveling, been going to Fredericksburg. But check out my Airbnb, and I have some updates on that. Put it in the membership section. Also, if you've been emailing me, asking me about where am I investing, all those details, I'm not turning this channel into a real estate investing. I'm going to put that in the membership section. You can join for $5. You also get a membership into my WhatsApp. That's where I'll divulge all of that information. But on the way up there, I stopped in Austin, not only to go to the Comedy Mothership, which is a lot of fun, but also to see Joshua, who I met at Munich, who has a dealership called Believe High Fidelity. And he has this $1 million Aries Cerat system. Amazing. Which coincidentally was featured in a YouTube video in the past, which is the single most viral video, I think, of any system ever on YouTube. 1.5 million views. And it's courtesy of a girl by the name of Jana. I don't want to mispronounce her last name. Dagagan. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing. I haven't met her. I think she's still in the industry and does a great job with other YouTubers now. But she had a video that went super viral featuring this exact same system. And so what I wanted to do is hear it after meeting Joshua, and he invited me to come down next time I was in town. Swung by, got to hear it, and it was worth the visit. Certainly a treat. I'm going to give you a lot of my feedback and takeaways in the next video when I actually give you some music clips, because I have to separate it now with copyright on YouTube. But here is my raw walkthrough video with Joshua going through all the gear, so you can get a preface of everything that's entails in this system. Then I'll give you music clips and my takeaways in the next video. So enjoy, guys. Okay, guys, time for some eye candy, and I don't think you can get much better eye candy than this, especially with this super cool lighting. So I'm going to do this whole walkthrough and interview in this lighting because it's just too cool. But I want you guys to, you can probably tell it from the rug here, Believe High Fidelity here in Austin. I was on my way to visit my property in Fredericksburg, the Airbnb I've been talking about if you've been following along. But Joshua, who I met at Munich, introduced himself, and I've heard about his place. My friends have bought from him in the past. I was passing through, decided to stay the night in Austin and come hear this amazing system, which I've heard a lot about, and it lived up to expectations. I want Joshua to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more, and then I'll give you a little more of my takeaways.
Yeah, sure. Joshua Masongsong. I'm the owner of Believe High Fidelity here in the Austin Metro. Distribute for a lot of different products, been carrying Aries Cerat for many years as a dealer, and built out this room because, you listen, you go to many shows, you produce a lot of these events, and you want something for yourself. And then this is for me, although I do like to share it with friends, and I do have some friends that bring stuff over. I also run the Austin Audio Society. So we have events where, we do DAC shootouts, we listen to some, cool music, try some new gear, meet some new friends, very cool stuff. So this is kind of my final system. And I built out this room acoustically so I could really enjoy the music without any of the drawbacks that, I typically used to at shows where you're always fighting the room. And I can just sit back, press play, and not have to really do the analytical thinking and did this work with that? Do I got to adjust this? It's all dialed in just the way that I like it, and I'm having a blast. That's me.
No, you've created, I want to get to the gear, obviously, but the immediate takeaway when I came in here was reminiscent of Dallas, where I made note of these amazing absorption panels that are on casters so you can move them around. But the fact that this is the closest thing I've seen to my home in terms of the amount of treatments, even more so, and in terms of creating a quasi-anechoic environment that is symmetrically perfect for the gear. As I've said many times on my channel, sound does not see your room like your eyes do. Depending on what's on the other side, your distances may be fine. People just using a rudimentary measuring stick or laser that's fine to get things equal, but sound will see that window and sliding glass door differently than this wall and what's on the other side of it. By creating this environment, he has truly created a symmetrical environment, and even taken care of what people often overlook, ceiling reflections. And so immediately, and then near field, you are truly getting what is on the recording and what the gear is able to perform in this kind of environment. So it is really a test environment that is as good as I've seen in any place. Probably I can't even think of one I've been into better than this. And I thought my home was treated to this level, and it doesn't even look this good. This is beautiful. But another part of the beauty here is the gear. So maybe we can walk through. You want to show us the different model numbers of the Aries Cerat? People probably know this Aries Cerat gear, but
yeah. So we have under the covers, under the sheets, some different. We have the Helena DAC. Also have the Incedo preamp. Have the Genus integrated. So it's not all about just the Megabuck system. Have the new Ionis series. These are the Geminis.
This is not a sub, guys. It's about the size of a subwoofer. But yeah, this is amplifier. Maybe when I'm going around here, I'll put on some of the flash, but so you guys can see a little bit better here. It's just gorgeous. When I visited Robert in Sacramento, he's a big Aries Cerat guy. I featured a lot of this gear on my channel. Munich as well, the Contendo series. But yeah, this is a model that many people haven't seen, right?
So this is a discontinued model now. It's called the Symphonia.
Okay.
This was his original speaker that he launched as a true horn. There was the Gladius, which was a traditional loudspeaker. This is his kind of baby Contendo, if you will. Mm-hmm. So it's a true horn. It's got the body of the speaker is the bass cabinet. As a true bass horn, it's actually got a folded inside about 3.5 meters. That's pressurized by that full range driver. So that gives it the pressurization to give you real bass without any of the bloat. It's clean. It's exceptionally fast because it needs to keep up with the rest of the horn. So this is his 360 degree, they named it jet engine flare, where, no diffraction, 4-inch titanium driver. And then it's got the RAL ribbon that's also horn loaded. So a full horn dedicated setup, but unfortunately, because it's very tethered, its bass performance is tethered to volume, you can't adjust it independently. He launched the Aurora, which has its own set of physical drivers that can be independently controlled. So now that solves for this room being very temperamental of where it can go in. But
and this is also pivotable as well.
Yeah, you can tow it in or out. Ideally, you want to keep it as close to the main mid-range driver for time alignment. Mm-hmm. But if you start to get a little bit too hot on the ears, you can tow it out a little bit more, and so it gives a bit of a flexibility for placement, so that you get the best kind of sonic presentation at your ears. And I do want to call out right up here is the mastering gear. So we do mastering with the system. So I got Antelope Audio Amari, Grace Designs preamp. Not in the room right now is some Neumann U87 microphones that we use for doing the recordings outside of this room and in this room. So, we want to try to get you as close to what you're listening here through like YouTube and other means. So that way, if you can't make it, you at least have an idea of what it would sound like.
Yeah, and I heard your son, I can't share these recordings, but his son did a mastering of a recording, a phenomenal job. This equipment is great. I've heard they make DACs for audiophiles too. Yep. Grace Designs DAC, I still think is one of the better pro audio DACs for audiophiles. Amazing. And Antelope made some great ones too. Also the finish though, we can't not look at this finish because nobody in the entire industry does this level of a finish. It is just, this is like their Well, is this still called the liquid copper? Or is this predecessor to the liquid copper?
Yeah, this is the liquid copper. There was like a liquid gold finish, so I have another pair.
Okay.
I have another exact pair. Actually, the first ones that were finished with the liquid finishing, and it's got a black painted front, but the liquid like a liquid gold in the back. And then this is the liquid carbon that's become the kind of the new standard of his finishing technique for the speaker. And then it's got the rosewood side panel, and then the birch body that's unfinished.
Yeah, and then he's got liquid carbon, and then the white was a phenomenal at Expona. You cannot get anything for my taste, more beautiful than this finish. So, and then the performance level is up there among the best. In terms of design, I have a whole interview series with Stavros Danos, the designer of Aries Cerat gear. I would highly encourage you, I'll link it, to learn about the technology under the hood, because these pieces, as beautiful as they are, exterior and chassis work impeccable, definitely screams high end and something you can be proud of. But under the hood is where I'm even more impressed. And what he's doing is not just regurgitating old tube designs to create the sound he goes for. Now this is okay, we got the Achilles.
Achilles, as you would pronounce it. But it's Achilles, Achilles, depending on if you're being true to form.
Okay.
But this is his flagship from his Legend series. This is the very first one that was ever built. Currently on loan to me from the owner, because we've been doing comparisons between the new Iana series and the Legend series, given that he has the new Legend front end as well. And every stage of the amplifier is independently got its own chassis and built to the hilt so that you get, the best performance possible. And then you're using the input drivers are 813s, the output drivers are 813s. So you got that match. You're not using smaller tubes with bigger tubes. So that allows for a lot of technical advantages in the sound design and tube rectification on the bottom. So input, output, rectification stage, one for each part of that signal chain, and six individual chassis stacked, for a total of a whopping 350 grand.
Yeah, we're talking about probably an over $1 million system here total, depending on what you want to include into everything. There are some adjustments too that you're allowed with Aries Cerat gear, which is unique. Again, I've covered that in other videos, but and even displays here that you'll get the most beautiful owner's manual with this gear too. It's really amazing. So yeah, and I forgot to mention the outboard crossover. It's not customizable like the Aurora. Again, this is a discontinued model, but that's the crossover back there. And
all the cabling, because I always seem to get so into the gear. I miss all the cabling is by a company out of Bali that we distribute called Vermouth Audio.
Oh, Vermouth, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not a cable snob. Actually,
right.
The opposite. I hate spending high dollars for literally wire.
Yep.
No matter the technique or the topology, I haven't heard any magnificent game-changing difference when you just get a really well-built piece of cable. And I have a combination of the reference series, their Red Velvet series. We're talking like a couple $100 a meter to start, and like maximum like a couple grand for their top end stuff. And then the new Vlad series, which is in all the equipment, it's kind of got a unique look to it.
I remember Vermouth. I've seen their stuff, and let me see if I can get a little bit of picture. It's got a nice jacketing. So yeah, that's good to know. And good to have some honest feedback on that. Let's see what you got in your front end here with, you got I didn't even see this earlier. You got a CEC transport.
Yeah, CEC transport with the external power supply. And the top unit is a Torqueo, completely redesigned from scratch, a Pioneer P10 direct drive turntable that's been restored, modified, upgraded, for their exclusive with the Torqueo branding. Top Wing, I'm the distributor for Top Wing here in the US and Canada, so I use it for everything, as you can imagine. Their coreless straight flux has changed the game. on the technology of cartridges, and the replacement is the bonus where you damage it, you only pay 10% as opposed to your typical 60 to 70% of a moving coil. So it makes it a very affordable lifetime cartridge. And then on the bottom we have a flagship Esoteric K1 or KO1 with a modified top cover, a nice polished top cover to go with it. Another transport in case folks come by with some CDs and want to play CDs in the little lab here.
No, I mean, these are the two standard setters for many years in terms of CD transports, Esoteric. CEC, I don't see as much anymore, but this is badass. This is a badass piece that's been around for a long time. And then it was a Transrotor here.
Yeah, so this is the Transrotor Tourbillon, and it looks all super pretty polished up, but I unfortunately haven't given it the kind of love and attention it probably deserves. But
it's sexy.
Dust. It likes to get dust.
Yeah,
but it's a phenomenally designed turntable. It's very cool because you can, this handle right here, you lift it up like driving.
Oh, that's cool.
Driving a stick shift.
And
away we go. There's the spin.
No.
And then it's got these cool accessories where you can just leave it on here and it'll actually follow the entire record to keep it clean, free of debris and dust. Of course, another top wing. It's got the Graham Phantom Elite 12-inch tone arm.
Yep.
Great tone arm. Very easy to set up. I love this tone arm because it's...
You're a big fan. We were talking about JR. Here's another guy that knows smart people in the hobby. He's really good with turntable setups, but also works with JR. So, you know, any guy that works with JR is going to absorb a lot of things. That impresses me. So, yeah, I'm not a turntable guy, but I'd want something sexy like that if I am.
Yeah,
but
it's a looker.
We got even some more sexy one.
I like sexy.
Yeah.
So this is, we are also the distributor for Torqueo. So every turntable is different. This one is a magnetic drive. That one's a direct drive. And then this one is an idler drive.
Okay.
So there's no, power supply speed control. You literally just undo the knob here. You turn it left to go 33. You turn it right to go 45. You just lock it in place.
There you go.
And it's about as easy as it gets. Mechanical, no digital feedback speed controls. Great sounding table. This is fitted with the snakeskin. It's their new exclusive titanium edition snakeskin finish. So it's
almost looks like brick, but yeah, it's very cool. And pink fawn server. Okay.
Yeah, so we started out with the one, and then he developed a design where he could use one as a endpoint and one as a server and split the duties and maximize the software to really change the game on that, and has been working with the operating system continuously. He just launched the new USB Ultra card, which we had a chance to prototype, play around with, to give him feedback so he can improve the design. And so this is the culmination of the best digital that you can get. All the power supplies are built in-house. All the clocks are built in-house. And he does some OEM work for some other companies as well. And the last kind of piece is in the software. There's a setting called Play and Relax where you can disable the network function on the back so that you get pure unadulterated sound quality, no noise coming from the network side. And I forgot to mention, this is the Origin Live. Their first that I'm aware of in the U.S. and anywhere is their new Renown tone arm. It's their new flagship tone arm, again with top wing, and it's kind of more of the same of their previous designs, but they just took the technology to the maximum with that arm, and it's a
beautiful arm. Yeah, it goes really well with that. Okay, I've got a few more Aries Cerat pieces here.
So all of these are similar in look, they're just different pieces. So the top is the phono stage called the Talos LE. Limited edition is what it stands for. So on the left side you got the power section, which is tube rectification, and on the right side you have the control section, which in this case there's a lot of tubes in this system.
Yeah.
Just in the mono amps alone, there's like almost 20 tubes, not including the sources. So, you know, it is a labor of love if you're going to want to with this fidelity. And then we got the Cassandra, same thing. We got the power supply on the left, limited edition, and the control unit on the right. And it's got these cool knobs where you can, you know, adjust for your input.
Yeah.
And clocking.
And even within, under the hood, you have some adjustment capabilities too.
Yeah, bias is one of the things you'll spend a lot of time with
Okay.
Aries Cerat, is getting the bias right amongst all three of them.
Yeah,
And
adjusting.
then lastly is the my favorite of the Aries Cerat lineup, their preamps, because they have the inverted triode technology, and so that is the best thing I think that he makes, and that has changed the game for me in preamps. I'm a big proponent of preamps need to be at the heart of the system, probably more than any other component, and it makes a substantial difference across the board. And rounding it out is the Kermis record.
Oh yeah.
machine.
So Charles watches all my videos. He's gonna be so happy to see this. The Kermis record cleaner. Well, I can't call it a cleaner. He calls
No,
it
it's a
restoration system.
Yes.
Yes, I gotta get that right, or
Yes.
he'll be making nasty comments.
Yes.
Cool.
Indeed. And behind the scenes
Uh-huh.
of the rack is a PS Audio P20 power plant.
Okay, a power plant back there.
Yes,
Okay.
with all the Vermouth cable and miscellaneous cables to round everything out. And ultimately, the room has 15 of these ACDA panels,
Okay.
which are effective below 100 hertz. We got 9 panels on the ceiling.
Same company.
Yeah, acoustic fields, and we got two pallets, close to 10,000 pounds of acoustic treatment in this room.
Yeah.
So, you know, they say you can kill the dynamics, but there is no killing the dynamics with
it's
this much
crazy.
treatment.
No, and in fact, you know, I think that's a big misconception. Over treating. No, this is actually creating true symmetry, giving the sound equal treatment on both sides. Whereas just the walls, even if you, like I said, matched by inches or even millimeters, it's still not going to see it that way. He's got true symmetry here. And yeah, these are on casters, so that's a really nice feature. And they're super thick, true bass trap capabilities, and as well on the ceiling. So, and these are roughly about $1,000 a piece.
They're about 1,000 a piece. If that's a bit outside of your price range, we also work with Norman Varney.
Oh yeah,
AV Showroom.
Yep.
I mean, AV Showrooms. I'm thinking of
yeah,
the late
Peter
Peter
Berger.
Berger and Terry,
Yeah.
AV
Room service. Yeah,
And they have a much more cost-effective approach that
Exactly.
still is just as effective as this, but won't break the bank in budget. But I kind of wanted to get the Rolls Royce for my room.
gotcha. No, and really, this is the area a lot of people forget. They may do like one first reflection point and maybe something here. They always forget the ceiling. You're taking care of everything. And let me tell you guys, it does pay off. When you have gear of this pedigree, the extra money you invest is relatively, price-wise, almost immaterial to, and you could save on the cable. Instead of getting ridiculous $100,000 of cable, put that money into these room treatments. I guarantee you 100 out of 100%, and maybe you'll agree with me,
Absolutely.
you will definitely get better return on the sonic profile. Not that cables don't matter, but prioritizing is the key. And that's what when I came in here and I see this level of priority with this kind of gear, this is where I like to make these kind of videos, is to show people this kind of combination. It's not just about fancy gear and mixed matched. And, the other thing that to pay attention to is Aries Cerat does everything from speaker. You don't have to outthink them. And in a lot of cases, you don't want to match their preamp with somebody else's or their amp, because the gain is in the preamp. So when you buy an amp without enough gain, they've taken care of all the synergy for you. So every brand, everything in this hobby is built for different type customers. With Aries Cerat, it's a customer that you're trusting them for everything. I think that's the way to go. And if this model has been discontinued, but in a lot of respects, the Aurora has some advantages in bass propagation and crossover controls. And then if you can really afford the Contendo, which you have a customer
Yep.
and he just told me I was going to be invited to film that when that gets installed. JR is going to be there. Norman's going to be there. Joshua will be there, among other privileged guests. So stay tuned for that. Much more to come with Joshua, hopefully in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks again, Joshua, for having us.
Thanks for coming by.